Man, I haven't seen one of these kind of chairs in years. I was gonna buy one. Has like a cushion in it. So that's what the patch was like when it was new. Let's see him roll through it. Take pride in my work, of course. All right, so that needs to be fixed. That's still a mess. Yeah, that's still a mess. Trash man in a trash truck. This month begins a new era, and the new era is trying to figure out paper plates are now legal in Texas, at least from the way I understand it. It is July 1st is when it all kicks in, and so your dealership's supposed to give you either the permanent plates or it's supposed to give you metal plates. It's going to be interesting to see how and if they enforce that. The first month is really August, is when it starts. You can't get any more paper plates. You can't sit there and display them anymore. This is the cutoff. Like I said, this is the month of the cutoff. They said no more.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, you dropped the bag there.
Yeah.
Yep. These days I got to put in a ticket for that right there. I got to put one in for the entire street of Bolivar. All right, one more time. I can't reproduce the magic that I felt on Shorecrest because this is not a quiet and calm street. It's a water valve. One more time. Charlotte it goes. I didn't know what it was. McMansion. Probably coming in October of this year. They get these cheap ass houses thrown up so quickly. They don't even look nice on the outside. I can't even say that. I was gonna say they look nice on the outside. They don't look nice. They're cheap, they're big, they're stupid, they're shitty houses for stupid people with more money than sense. They built these with the cheapest materials possible, but they're going to charge you the highest price. I just can't get enough of that. And that's a stop. That's legal. That's the homeboy over at 3771 Almazan. Oh, they all are. They're all heading to the same place. So I'll see them as I'm going back around. Pattern recognition. Now, if I had any kind of programming skills and robotics know-how, I mean, I got a little bit of both, yeah. But if I was really, well, I don't even have to be really good at it. I'd start building patrol dog drones and marketing them to city to governments that are paranoid and don't have enough cops. And my little dogs would just roam the neighborhoods with 3D cameras. The thing is, just because you don't have enough cops to walk the neighborhoods doesn't mean you have enough cops to watch all of the footage from the drone patrols. But that's what's coming next. You're going to be walking down the street one day, and you're going to see that little headless dog tromping up and down the sidewalks in the street, semi-autonomous. It pretty much just follows along the path on a predetermined route. And because it's got those dog legs, it can walk anywhere. And it just does a quick pass through. Eventually they'll start programming other features into it. If it starts hearing loud bangs or noises, it'll set off for an alert while it's doing its patrol, and it'll say, oh, something happened here that might be worth your attention. It might be able to spot fires. I guess what I'm saying is patrol robots are coming. Probably within the next 5 or 10 years. I know people always say that, but this feels like they're really close. I don't think it'll be flying drones. It might be a combination of those things. The flying drones to get a satellite or get an overhead view of things in the city. But little dog drones that just kind of run through and replace beat cops. No, there's going to be an increase in the police state. Let's go. Yeah, no, I kind of figured that house was for sale. They cleaned them out too. Well, that's that. I wonder if there's any rain getting on the... I kind of wish that GoPros did have that feature to where you could... There's a lot of features I wish they had. I wish they had an overlay that had timestamps with GPS. I kind of wish there was a way that you could... Maybe there is. Like, let's say you got like an Apple Watch or something that has like a little screen on it. You can look at your footage every once in a while and see if your camera's in the right alignment, if there's something on the lens. But all that stuff drains battery, except for the overlay. I don't do the overlay. Like I said, my body cam has overlay. And I've had this battery last for 12 hours. I've never seen anything like it. It's just, that's really neat. It's like having a cell phone strapped to my chest. I'm surprised they don't make these things where you could call out if you needed to, like you hit a button and it boop. This cheap one I got, it's got all sorts of problems, but all I care about is it records. And as long as it does that, I can tolerate a lot of those. Sometimes a little voice crackles out. Sometimes the GPS doesn't kick in until I'm well into my walk. And we know what's cool about this webcam? It's supported by one Chinese woman, or maybe it's one Chinese or one Taiwanese woman, who, if you send her an email, she'll get back to you within that same day or the next day. It's got hella good customer service. I was like, that's crazy. Somebody halfway across the globe can give me better customer service than someone right down the street from me. I contacted Axon, and Axon took their sweet time, contacts me a month later and says, yeah, we don't sell to civilians. I'm like, okay. I'm not gonna break my heart. Is Axon the only game in town? Pretty much, as far as American companies. And you can take that American part with a grain of salt. And I was thinking about getting one before I saw the John Oliver report. And now I'm thinking, you know, I dodged a bullet with that one. Oh, it's raining. It's kind of fitting that today would be a yucky 4th of July. Something yucky just happened on this day, and it will have repercussions. Basically, the Republican Party is about to have a zombie outbreak. They're putting all the conditions in place to build a whole new crop of zombies. If you want to stop zombies from occurring, you've got to take care of the bodies. You can't ignore the bodies. Cutting funding for DART, cutting funding for SNAP, cutting funding for Medicare. And I'm right down here on the ground level, and I see what happens when they do all that stupid shit. I mean, these videos kind of showcase that. You'd rather invest in ideas than in people. Or should I say bad ideas? 40-year-old ideas that have been proven not to work. You're not taxing citizens, you're investing in America. Now, yeah, I guess it would be kind of cool if people could vector where their investments went, and then they wouldn't mind being taxed so much. But then you lead into these disparity situations where someone in the suburbs doesn't want to fund welfare for someone in the inner city that's, well, let's just say in different income brackets. It may not matter about color anymore as much. Oh, some of these guys look around, man, and it's like I couldn't figure out what they're called. The sappers. When I was watching the Alamo, and they had these Mexican dudes that were just dark and swarthy with beards, and they looked like they were no nonsense. They had these giant axes, and they were just chopping away at the fort. In my neighborhood, man, guys look like sappers. The engineers that cut down fortifications and breach walls. A neighborhood of sappers. No, I look over there and I wonder if someone should do a welfare check. I haven't seen the car moving in about a month, and the weeds are getting high. Or the vegetation around the houses. That's the thing, you don't want to be an asshole, but at the same time, you wonder if there's a genuine concern there. And so people keep to themselves, and people let them keep to themselves. And for all I know, he could be dead in there. I don't know. I think it's an older man. Sorry, Shaka Khan, you deserve better than this. No, I've always loved the intro of Shaka Khan's Ain't Nobody. Still got the learner's permit. But the intro to Ain't Nobody's got this synthesizer with this cool counterpoint at the very intro. It's counterpoint with alternating stereo channels, and it sounds just really weird. You hear it, and it goes all around. And it feels like the start of like a lightning bolt. The little static starts to gather around in the clouds, and it builds up, and all of a sudden you see light released and arcing, and then bam, it hits. I mean, the rest of the song is good. I just really, really, really dig the intro. But on it. No, I just realized, I never realized that there was a little guitar rift. Well, he looked young. looked like a 15-year-old. Man. That license plate looks really neat. What is that, like Connecticut or something? I just ran the red light. $37.18. In cursive. Thus ensuring that anyone under 30 years old can't read it. But yeah, I learned cursive. I was in 3rd grade and they got real serious about it. It was like, and after that we couldn't write anything in regular script. We had to write everything in cursive. But you could. So I was writing reports in cursive and really crappy handwriting. And being a left-hander, it's a little tough in the desk that you're in. Desks and notebooks aren't made for you, so cursive, my cursive always came out looking weird. Because I was bumping up into the coils, or my hand kept slamming up against the hole of the paper. People say that's not that big of a deal. It's like, try it sometime. See how the world discriminates against lefties. When I went to public school, it sucked. Because in public school, they had these old stupid desks that were a chair, and the arm came up and it went into the it was a wraparound thing, and so if you were right-handed, it didn't get in your way as much, but when you're left-handed, you kept hitting the bar when you put your arm down and try to write with it. And they would have left-handed desks, and I would try to grab and get them and use them. And then every once in a while I get an asshole who just jumps in there, and he's not left-handed, he just likes the way it looks, so he jumps in there and uses the left-handed desk. And that's infuriating. You sitting there fighting somebody over a desk and they don't quite get why. You explain it to them, they still don't. They still look at you like you're trash, and you're like, all right. So, the world hates lefties. Yeah, I've been an oddball in every damn thing. When they talk about the term misfit, I know it all too well. I don't fit into the neat little boxes. There's some that look at me and they just get seriously confused, but unfortunately curious as well. Which sucks if you're, back when I believed in introverts and extroverts, but if you're somebody who likes to keep to themselves, you learn to accept the curiosity of extroverts. This has been an okay walk. I mean, the weather is yucky, but there's a cool breeze. I was kind of expecting there to be like more cars and more weirdness, and it's really subdued. You know, it's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock on a Friday, on a holiday week on July 4th. And I don't really see that much going on. I see some people out there on their porches waving at me, and I'm waving back, but it's probably more because I'm walking at 7 o'clock as opposed to when I'm usually walking, which is around 1500 hours. So I'm late in the day, and this might just be typical. And I get the feeling that the 4th of July is not really, it's a big federal holiday, but when it comes down to here, it's just the kids are already out of school. Your job might still have you working on this day. What I hated about it coming on a Friday is that the Thursday before, I don't know. I just hate that when holidays come around, we don't try to make them longer. Like when a holiday comes on a Wednesday, people still have to go in on a Thursday. That's a lost week in my opinion. They should just they should just formally make it so. There's some bike tires coming through here. I mean, okay, I guess it is, yeah, really subdued. Like, I'm expecting a lot of car traffic. And I'm walking safely across the street here. So here we go, there's a guy with a head of steam.